Regardless of why you're drinking coffee, what matters most is how it tastes, smells, and whether or not it makes you feel alert and happy in the morning. That being said, everyone has their favorite order, perhaps a latte, a piccolo, or maybe a long black. We checked online to see how many types of coffee beverages there are. It turns out, there's quite a lot. Over 30 different types were listed on one website, and more than 40 on another. To save us all some time, we will confine this list to the most commonplace coffees available. Espresso is a coffee-making method of Italian origin, in which a small amount of nearly boiling water is forced under pressure through finely ground coffee beans. Espresso coffee can be made with a wide variety of coffee beans and roasts. Espresso is generally thicker than coffee brewed by other methods, has a higher concentration of suspended and dissolved solids, and has crema on top, a foam with a creamy consistency. As a result of the pressurized brewing process, the flavors and chemicals in a typical cup of espresso are very concentrated. The three dispersed phases in espresso are what make this beverage unique. The first dispersed phase is an emulsion of oil droplets. The second phase is suspended solids, while the third is the layer of gas bubbles or foam. The dispersion of very small oil droplets is perceived in the mouth as creamy. This characteristic of espresso contributes to what is known as the body of the beverage. These oil droplets preserve some of the aromatic compounds that are lost to the air in other coffee forms. This preserves the strong coffee flavor present in the espresso. Espresso is also the base for other types of coffee, including cafe latte, cappuccino, cafe macchiato, cafe mocha, flat white, or Caffe Americano. Espresso has more caffeine per unit volume than most coffee beverages, but because the usual serving size is much smaller, the total caffeine content is less than a mug of standard brewed coffee, contrary to a common belief. The actual caffeine content of any coffee drink varies by size, bean origin, roast method, and other factors, but a typical serving of espresso usually contains 120 to 170 milligrams of caffeine, whereas a typical serving of drip coffee usually contains 150 to 200 milligrams. Cafe latte is a coffee drink made with espresso and steamed milk. The word comes from the Italian caffè latte, which means coffee and milk. The word is also sometimes spelled latte or latte in English with different kinds of accent marks, which can be a hyperforeignism or a deliberate attempt to indicate that the word is not pronounced according to the rules of English orthography. In Northern Europe and Scandinavia, the term café au lait has traditionally been used for the combination of espresso and milk. In France, café latte is mostly known from the original Italian name of the drink. A combination of espresso and steamed milk equivalent to a latte is in French called Grande Crème and in German Milchkaffee or, in Austria, Wiener Melange. Variants include the chocolate-flavored mocha or replacing the coffee with another drink base such as masala chai, spiced Indian tea, mate, matcha, turmeric, or rooibos. Other types of milk, such as soy milk or almond milk, are also used. A cappuccino is an espresso-based coffee drink that originated in Italy, and is traditionally prepared with steamed milk foam, microfoam. Variations of the drink involve the use of cream instead of milk, and flavoring with cinnamon or chocolate powder. It is typically smaller in volume than a café latte, with a thicker layer of microfoam. The name comes from the Capuchin friars, referring to the color of their habits, and in this context referring to the color of the beverage when milk is added in small portion to dark, brewed coffee. Today mostly espresso. The physical appearance of a modern cappuccino with espresso crema and steamed milk is a result of a long evolution of the drink. The Viennese bestowed the name Cappuccino, possibly in the 18th century, on a version that included whipped cream and spices of unknown origin. The Italian cappuccino was unknown outside Italy until the 1930s, and seems to be born out of Viennese-style cafes in Trieste and other cities in the former Austria in the first decades of the 20th century. The drink has since spread worldwide and can be found at a number of establishments. Caffe macchiato, sometimes called espresso macchiato, is an espresso coffee drink with a small amount of milk, usually foamed. In Italian, macchiato means stained or spotted, so the literal translation of caffe macchiato is stained or marked coffee. Stretto Espresso is ideal for those who love espresso with a pronounced and rich flavor. This perfect espresso reveals an intensive dark chocolate aroma, imbued with sophisticated notes of black currant and pink grapefruit, and has been specially created for true connoisseurs and those who love a pronounced and rich flavor. Ristretto is traditionally a short shot of espresso coffee made with the normal amount of ground coffee but extracted with about half the amount of water in the same amount of time by using a finer grind. This produces a concentrated shot of coffee per volume. Just pulling a normal shot short could be confused as a ristretto, however, it is not a ristretto, only a weaker shot. The opposite of a ristretto is a lungo, which is typically double the shot volume. Ristretto means shortened or narrow in Italian, whereas lungo means long. The French equivalent of ristretto is café serra. Regardless of whether one uses a hand-pressed machine or an automatic, a regular double shot is generally considered to be around 14–18 grams of ground coffee extracted into 60 ml. Thus, a double ristretto consumes the same amount of coffee beans but fills only a single shot glass. Caffe Americano, literally American coffee, is a type of coffee drink prepared by diluting an espresso with hot water, giving it a similar strength to, but different flavor from, traditionally brewed coffee. The strength of an Americano varies with the number of shots of espresso and the amount of water added. The name is also spelled with varying capitalization and use of diacritics, e.g., Caffe Americano. In Italy, Caffe Americano could mean either espresso with hot water or filtered coffee. A long black is a style of coffee commonly found in Australia and New Zealand. It is similar to an Americano, but with a stronger aroma and taste. A long black is made by pouring a double shot of espresso or ristretto over hot water. Typically about 100 to 120 milliliters of water is used, but the measurement is considered to be flexible to individual taste. The smaller volume of water compared to an Americano is responsible for its stronger taste. Usually the water is also heated by the espresso machine. A long black is similar to an Americano, which is made by pouring hot water over a double shot of espresso or ristretto. Both retain the crema when brewed properly, though in the long black the crema will be more pronounced. Lungo is a coffee beverage made by using an espresso machine to make an Italian-style coffee, short black, single or double dose or shot, with much more water, generally twice as much, resulting in a larger coffee, a lungo. A normal serving of espresso takes from 18 to 30 seconds to pull, and fills 25 to 60 milliliters, while a lungo may take up to a minute to pull, and might fill 130 to 170 milliliters. Extraction time of the dose is determined by the variety of coffee beans, usually a blend of Arabica and Robusta, their grind, and the pressure of the machine. The optimum is obtained with 9–12 bars 130, 150 milliliter citation needed. In French it is called café allongé. A flat white is a coffee drink consisting of espresso with microfoam, steamed milk with small, fine bubbles and a glossy or velvety consistency. It is comparable to a latte, but smaller in volume and with less microfoam, therefore having a higher proportion of coffee to milk, and milk that is more velvety in consistency, allowing the espresso to dominate the flavor, while being supported by the milk.
Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified when we post new videos.